Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Almighty Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings also to you, hopefully elect brothers and sisters out there diligently laboring in His truth and all righteousness and sincerity. It's the brother Azorah back again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And today they just launched what we've been speaking about for a very long time, the FedNow instant payment service. Now, what does this mean? This means pretty much that your privacy is gone. All right. Now, the government, the Fed, they're going to know everything about your spending, your transactions, where you spend money at, how you spend it. All right. And they're also going to have full control over you. So if you say something that they don't like, or you do something that they don't like, that they deem offensive, they can cut you off. All right. Because now your money is not in a privately owned bank. Now it belongs to the Fed. So they have full control now over your life. Now they're going to roll this out in stages over the next couple months. You know what I'm saying? But they already have banks on board with this. All right. Banks are already using the system, but today it has launched officially. All right. So say goodbye to your freedom. Say goodbye to really this current system in which, you know, there's no more anonymous payment. You know, Cash App is going to be phased out. Venmo is going to be phased out. Zelle is going to be phased out as well. A lot of these external apps that people use for business to make transactions, buy and sell, those things are going to be phased out in favor of this. And they're going to explain to you why in this article. It's basically a thing of convenience. All right. Everything is going to be instant. You're not going to have any pending payments. All right. As soon as you buy something or you want to send money over, it's instant. You know, like, for example, in Cash App, if you don't have your bank account linked to the actual app and someone sends you money, you have to click the option of cash out. Now with cash out, you can instantly deposit the money into your bank account, but they charge a small fee. Or you can do it the regular way, in which it takes 2 to 3 business days for the money to show up. You know, but with this FedNow, it's going to be instant. Everything is going to be instant, right? So when you get paid from your employer, it's going to instantly show up in your bank account. It's not going to take 2 to 3 business days for it to show up in your account. So they're going to market this thing as a convenience to the people. So it says here, the Federal Reserve launched a new instant payment service Thursday. FedNow allows banks and credit unions to sign up to send real-time payments so they can offer customers a quicker way to send money between banks. FedNow, which was first announced in 2019. Isn't that interesting, right? Now, 2019, that was just before the whole pandemic, right? That was just before, you see? So, again, this has always been the plan for everything to go digital. As Klaus Schwab said, we need to reach net zero, all right? You're seeing these plans being rolled out in real time. First announced in 2019, published a list of banks and credit unions that are already signed up to the service. Now, remember earlier this year, when a lot of these smaller banks, they started to collapse. And there's even more banks that have collapsed since then, but it's not in the mainstream media. But back in late February, early March, around that time, a lot of the smaller banks started to have trouble. And the bigger banks, such as Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, started buying these smaller privately owned banks out. Because why? With this new system that they're about to put in play, because you have to understand that these larger banks are all controlled by the Fed. All right. The smaller banks, they're privately owned. They might have, private shareholders or whatever that run those operations. But the larger banks, Bank of America, Chase, etc., they're run by bigger wigs. All right. So the plan is all along to consolidate these smaller banks into the bigger banks so that there's really going to be no avenue for you to escape this system. You're going to have to go through this system in order to live. And that, all right, and that's why it says in Revelation 3:16-17 that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast. This is what it's all coming down to. There's going to be no escape. All right. It's no escape, man. They're going to have full control over everything. It says, however, it might take longer for customers to be able to use the service with their bank. FedNow offers instant payment services for banks and credit unions to transfer money for their customers. Unlike other private money transferring services like PayPal or Venmo, FedNow services are not offered to customers directly through a third-party app or website. See that? So this service, FedNow, you're not going to be able to download an app, all right, to be able to send this money. So you're going to have to be plugged in. And really, it's all going to be through the RFID micro CHIP. You see, and I have a video that I'll show that goes into that, all right? A whistleblower that used to be down, I'm not even going to say used to be. He you know what I'm saying? He probably is still down with him, but, you know, there's such a thing called controlled opposition. See, but, yeah, so it said, just like how you can download a Cash app, you know, download a Venmo app. It's not, this FedNow is not going to be like that. See? Now, how is it going to be rolled out? It says the services will only be available through banks or credit unions. You see that? So once again, all these third-party apps, they're going to be phased out because there's really going to be no need for them. Because why would people continue to use PayPal or Venmo or Cash App when, like I mentioned earlier, if you want to transfer money, it takes a while to do it. It takes a couple days to do it. This FedNow system is instant. Everything is instant. You're not going to have to wait for your money. You're going to receive it right away. So people, out of convenience, they're obviously going to choose the more convenient service, all right? Because these Americans, they love convenience. They don't like to wait for anything. So when this FedNow is rolled out on a large scale, majority of the people are going to go for this, all right? So yeah, so the services will only be available through banks or credit unions. However, once banks have adopted FedNow, they're expected to make it available on their websites and apps. Once a bank offers the FedNow service, customers will be able to send money instantly. The service is also available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. See, that's another convenience. All right, because with the regular banks, they have certain hours in which they operate. All right, so hey, if you deposit a check with most banks after 6 p.m., it's not going to go through until the next business day. With FedNow, you can deposit a check anytime. It's open 24 hours. So once again, this is a thing of convenience, and this is to get people's minds to accept this and not have all this pushback. See, hey, this devil Esau Edom is very, very crafty. All right, you got to give it to him. Says among the banks that will offer the FedNow services soon are Wells Fargo and JP Morgan Chase. Once again, these banks are run by the Fed. All right, they're plugged in with the central bankers. You see, so this is why back a couple months ago they were buying up these smaller banks. Does it all make sense now? All right, so let me go ahead to this video. All right, because this brings it out. And once again, this guy, Richard Werner, you know, allegedly, you know, he's not down with them no more, but he was a young global leader. But because of ethics and the evil that he saw within that, he chose to step away from it. But now he's whistleblowing. All right, now he's spilling the beans, which he's been doing it for a while, you know what I'm saying? But he's spilling the beans now about what the true agenda is for these elites. You know, so we're going to go ahead and check this video out. And, hey, he going, like I said, this man go spill the beans, man. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, he's not really saying anything that's not, that we don't already know. You know, but it's always good to hear it from an insider because it solidifies what we've been saying for the longest time, starting with our elders and apostles. And yeah, of course, Klaus Schwab years ago came out and said these same things, Noah Yuval Harari, but this is another example of the truth coming to light now in these last days. So let's check it out.
A World Economic Forum insider has blown the whistle and admitted that the globalist #1 goal is to implant CBDCs as a chip under the skin of every man, woman and child in the world, with or without their consent, and they will stop at nothing to achieve this aim. According to Professor Richard Werner, the globalist elite have been carefully planning this attack on humanity for decades, and they are now preparing to drop a cluster munition in the heart of civil society to soften people up so they will accept the chip. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join the People's Voice Locals community to support the channel and gain access to uncensored content. If anybody is qualified to talk about the evil agenda of the globalist elite, it's Richard Werner. As a rising economist and WEF Young Global Leader in the early 2000s, he was personally groomed by Klaus Schwab for a key role in the WEF. The future was bright for Werner, who, as a young global leader, had access to Klaus Schwab's contact list, including all the key strategic partners and stakeholders that Schwab likes to boast about. Werner worked with the Japanese government and invented quantitative easing. He published books that were picked up by major publishers and became bestsellers, much like Yuval Noah Harari in recent years. Life for Werner on the WEF gravy train was easy. Life was good. But then his conscience got in the way and he decided he couldn't continue working for the most evil people in the world and plotting the downfall of humanity. Since parting ways with the WEF and finding himself banned from Davos, every major institution in the world has declared him persona non grata. Cambridge University, one of the leading educational institutions in the world, offered him a job, only to retract it when they discovered that he was a Christian who believes big banks are a cancer on society. You might want to listen to what he's got to say. According to Werner, the globalist elite understand that there's a hurdle in getting people to implant a chip under their skin. So they are planning a series of disruptions and crises to prepare humanity to accept a universal basic income, also known as globalized communism, in which the chip will be necessary to receive your monthly stipend.
They have literally delayed their agenda. Because I think it's so important to them, they've been very careful about the timing, and let's wait a little longer, let's have this crisis first, let's have COVID first, soften them up. But they've delayed, because the technology was already ready around 2015 to roll out. Mm. And what people don't mention is, what do these CBDCs actually look like? At the moment, there's a bit of talk about this being phone-based apps. And yes, that is the initial phase. But what was already ready around 2015 is the ultimate goal, what they really want. Apparently, I was told by a central banker, is, CBDCs looks like a small grain of rice that they want to put under your skin, which is, in my view, a violation of human dignity. And they realize there is a hurdle. So to get people to accept this, there will be, why suddenly are all the billionaires saying, let's have universal basic income? Because the story is going to be, now we've created this vast unemployment and disruption and crises. Well, we need universal basic income. You will get 2,000 euros into your account every month. But of course, to run this efficiently, we need to use the latest technology. So, you need the CBDC chip implant. But how many people will say, okay, fine, £2,000, 2,000 euros,
A surprising proportion, shockingly, obviously, to me or yourself, but we've seen years ago in Sweden, there has been a substantial small minority take-up of what's currently much larger. It's kind of like a little cylinder in stainless steel, I guess. Maybe it's titanium or something. And they are doing it because they just want to. They want to be early adopters of this nonsense. So if anyone's listening and that sounds fanciful or conspiracy theorish, the fact is in Sweden they are taking it up and in other places, and that's...
So you heard it there. The ultimate goal is to be under your skin. Klaus Schwab came out himself and said this multiple times over the years. So when it pertains to the prophecy of Revelation 13 and 16 on down, it says in your right hand, which people already have, or in your forehead. That pertains to the Neuralink brain chip, which will go inside of your brain. All right. So they got different flavors of this MOT to the B. But the bottom line is, The goal has always been to be under your skin. Now, you heard Richard Werner say that they've had this ready since 2015. Now, this actual technology goes back years. All right, they've actually had this chip ready since the 90s, but they couldn't do it then because, you know, people would have, of course, revolted against that, because the technology, people weren't used to that kind of technology then. Now, the idea of having a CHIP in your hand or in your brain now is not so far-fetched, because people already have it. And again, they're going to use this convenience to make it even more palatable to the masses. So this has always been the goal. This has always been the agenda. And we're finally in that hour now where these things are being realized. See, the men of the Lord, the prophets, you know, we've been called all sorts of things. Weirdos, bug outs, false prophets. Yeah, you name it, we've been called it. But it's all good, because at the end of the day, we preach the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And really, when you scoff against what we say, you scoffing against the Lord. You see, you ain't scoffing against us, because as it says in Romans 3:3, for what if some did not believe? Shall that make the faith of Yahweh to none effect? So it doesn't matter if you don't believe. It don't matter if you say harsh words against the truth of the Holy Scriptures. These things are still going to happen. See, the truth of the Bible is still going to come to pass. This is prophecy. You can't stop this. You see, you can't stop this, man. These are the times that we're in. And if you're in the spirit, we mainly do these videos for the hopefully elect. You know what I'm saying? So y'all brothers and sisters that keep up, y'all should already know what's going on. See, we shouldn't even have to really break it down too much in depth, Now, if you a new listener coming in, brothers got videos up. You need to catch up, get up to speed. You know what I'm saying? Because we at the time now where we don't have time to be, breaking things down every second, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the videos are out there. Catch up. But for those of you brothers and sisters that are, caught up and, you're aware of what's going on, then, hey, you see it. You see it, man. So once again, for all these false prophets out here that's talking about the mark is an embargo, or it's sleeping with white women, or it's doing wickedness with your right hand or your forehead, that's all madness. All right. And a lot of these guys that are saying these things, they've actually sold out. All right, they've actually sold out. They took the bag. They're hirelings. All right, they're on the opposing side, man. You see, so their job is to feed you BS to take you away from the truth. All right. So, hey, man, you got to listen to the brothers that have not compromised. All right, we ain't take the bag, man. You know what I'm saying? We brothers ain't making no money off doing this. The brothers of Great Millstone. All right, so at the end of the day, even other Edomites can see it, man. Even other Edomites see where this is going. So what's up with you other, Jakes out there that can't see it, or you continue to preach the false doctrine? You want to say that the mark is everything other than what it actually is. And what's going to happen is a lot of these guys, a lot of these leaders of these different camps, they're going to switch up at the last minute and act like they've always been teaching it. You see? Because when this thing is in your face, when you're actually presented with the chip, you're not going to be able to say that it's not the MOTB, because by that point it's going to be obvious. There's going to be nothing else that you can use to say, oh, well, this is the MOTB. Nah, man. It's going to be right in your face. Either you're going to take this, or you ain't going to be able to live. You ain't going to be able to be in a society. You can't buy, you can't sell, you can't travel, you can't do nothing unless you take this. Then it's going to be crystal clear. It's crystal clear right now to us, but to these naysayers, right, to these detractors, they're going to be faced with it, and they're going to have to confront their own delusion, you see? So, yeah, You know what I'm saying? We ain't even gotta say too much. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Now, who is the wicked? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elites, all right, which is the tribe of Amalek, the Joo people. These are the people that have power over these central banks. They control the currency, they control the food, they control what goes on to the airwaves, they control what you learn, you see, what you consume. All right, these are the wicked, man, and the plans of the wicked are being exposed right now before your very eyes. All right, it says he covereth the faces of the judges. Just in case you was confused about who the wicked is, it gives you another hint. It says he covereth the faces of the judges. Now, when did this happen? During the Renaissance, all right, where the dark images of the apostles, the angels, Yahushai, or Christ, as the world calls, God, Yahweh, they were painted to be pale faces, all right? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So that's a very facetious question, all right? The Lord pretty much, just inserting some smart humor in there, right? So if it's not the so-called white man, then where is he and who is he? Show me. See? So right now, we know that the earth is under the rulership of the wicked. You see, this is why you're being faced now in these times with the MOTB. All right, you're going to be cut off from society completely if you do not bow the knee to the beast. All right, if you do not bow down to the image of Baal, you're going to be cut off, man. All right, this is what it's all coming down to. This is what the prophets, starting with our elders and apostles, have been warning you of for such a very, very long time. It is here now. Isaiah 32:7. The instruments also of the churl are evil. Now, what are the instruments of the churl? Like you heard Richard Warner say in that video, they're gradually moving you into this phase, right? CV19. Now, CV19, that was very grievous. All right, that was a very grievous thing. Inflation right now. People losing jobs, businesses closing down, people not being able to feed themselves, house themselves, clothe themselves, right? These are all instruments of the churl, all instruments of cruelty and wickedness, man. All right, brought on by who? The wicked. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words. Oh yeah, well, you can take this Fed now. It's instant payments, it's open 24 hours a day. You can always access your money anytime, It's all digital, so you don't have to worry about carrying cash around, But hey, all you have to do is take this grain of rice. It's painless, it's quick. It won't take no more than 5 minutes, right? And you can unlock society. All you got to do is look at how they played it during the CV19 pandemic. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same thing. If you don't take, or if you didn't take the juicy juice, you couldn't participate in society. You couldn't travel, right? You couldn't board a plane. You couldn't get into certain events. You see, you couldn't have a job. All right, that's why so many people folded, man, because they were shut out of society. You see, it's going to be the same thing with this MOTB. He destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh the right. See, so the needy, which really goes into Israel, you know what I'm saying? Starting with the prophets, all right, we speak of the right. We're calling this man out for his wickedness. We telling our people, really the whole world, you know what I'm saying, what this man is up to. You see, but he persecuting us. He trying to silence us, shutting brothers' channels down, antagonizing brothers on the streets. All kind of things that this man is doing to stop this truth from getting out there. All right, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, this truth ain't going to stop, man, until the Lord wanted to stop. All right, which that famine of the word is coming very, very soon. All right, we can close out on this here, Ephesians 4, and we'll start at 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahushua, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahweh Shai. This is the point here, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine. Once again, you have men that are leaders of camps out here telling you that the mark is an embargo. You have these leaders telling you that the mark is doing wickedness with your right hand or your forehead. You have men with doctrine saying that the mark is sleeping with white women. Okay? All kinds of madness, okay? Different winds of doctrine. All right? We are not carried away because why? We are no more children in this truth. All right? We are well aware. We've done the studying. You see, we're in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So we're not fazed by these wayward doctrines. We can see through the smoke, man. You know what I'm saying? We can see through all of the madness that this world has to offer. We can see very clear. By the sleight of men, all right? So Esau has even set up these certain men pushing these doctrines, man. Why? To deceive the people. You see? You think that some of these guys are not paid off? Like, how can't you see that this is the mark, man? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Once again, even other heathens, even Edomites, the low-level Edomites can see that this is the mark. So if you claim to be in the truth, it should be no way why you can't see it. But once again, these guys are paid off. They're hirelings. They took the bag. They sold out. All right? There's doctrines out there saying that you can take the MOTB and just take it out before Yahweh Shai comes back. Madness, you see? Leading the congregation straight to damnation, all right? And cunning craftiness, which who? Who is that cunning craftiness brought on by? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Hey, the scriptures tell you that Esau was what? A cunning hunter. All right, okay, so Esau used very out-of-the-box methods, all right, to kill his prey. And he's doing the same thing today. You see? A very cunning hunter with his cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. You see? So, hey, you know what I'm saying? It's all coming down. It's here, all right? It's, you know what I'm saying? Just wait and see what's going to take place in these next couple months. All right? It's going to get crucial out here, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the hour of temptation coming upon the earth. All right? And, hey, we're going to have to pass the test, you know? All you brothers out there, you know, all you sisters that talk a good game, you know, hey, when this MOTB finally gets rolled out, we're going to see what you made of, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see who really got faith and who was just all talk. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. Hopefully, this lesson was edifying through the Rakha Kadash. In closing, call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kadash. Until next time, Lord willing, Kom Yasha'Allah, DTA, and Abad Babal. Keep the faith, brothers and sisters. Keep striving, keep pushing. Don't lose hope. Continue to strive in this truth, man. Shalom.